Hi everyone, welcome to part 2 of our planner page. I should say happy Tuesday. Now we are going to be doing these centre 2 shelves today, one at a time. So we'll bring this one into shot first. What this page does mean is that if you haven't got a lot of time, you could just do this bit, stop the video, go off, do whatever, come back and then do the next one after. They're quite nice little snippets, aren't they? Now I'm not sure if I'm going to just use the colours that I used last time or different ones. I've still got the ones I used last time out, so I'm going to make a start with that one. This is 76 Staedtler Design Journey pencils, and I'm doing this shelf. I've done the other two the same as this, so I thought I would just do them all the same colour, and I've kept it really plain. I haven't really done a lot of shading at all on this page so far. Well, probably none, apart from where we made our gold. It just feels like there's quite a lot going on and there's a lot of little details, and it's probably easier just to keep it a little bit simpler. And so that's what I am aiming on doing. It is so sunny. It is the weirdest weather today, typical British weather. I'm going to get a red to do this toadstool. This one, the 29. Yes, typical British weather in that I got up this morning, and when I went down for breakfast, the solar panels, this was about just before 8, I was late this morning, the solar panels were generating more electricity than we were using, so we're actually feeding energy back to the grid, and that was early morning. Now early morning our roof is actually slightly shadowed by our chimney, so we don't get the full brunt of the sun of that time of the morning. And then by lunchtime, when normally we're sort of making the maximum amount of energy, this is 80 for the stem, we're actually using more than we were generating. Now that may have partly been due, I'm making these edges a bit darker, to the fact that I'm also going to colour in these spots but leave a white edge. Might have been due to the fact that everyone was up by then, so we had more things on, you know, computers and that sort of thing. But I think it was the weather, because it had got very 61, very dark, cloudy, and we had some rain, even though we weren't forecast any. It's been a bit mad, to be honest, and but anyway. Oh, it's my husband sneezing. He's still got a cold. He said when he got up this morning he was going to go back to bed. No, not when he got up. He knew he had to go out and shop because he wanted he batch cooks, and he needed all his ingredients to do that today because he'd run out of all his food. So he came out for a walk, which was nice. But when he got back, he said he was going to go back to bed, but he didn't, because he had to do his cooking. So he cooked, and he was just having a nod off after post-lunch nod off just then. But I guess he's woken up. But he usually has when he's not got his ADHD meds, he sleeps a lot. But when he does, he has his meds. He's awake more. He's got his meds coming soon. We've actually at last managed to sort it all out. He's paid for them, so they'll be on their way quite soon, which is good news. I'm not sure. I guess that's one in there, isn't it? So he snoozes more, and he finds that really frustrating. I think he didn't used to until he knew that if he had a pill it would stop it. But he'll get them soon, 20, and so that'll get him sorted out. He'll be able to be a bit more awake. And next week, because the boys are at uni, they aren't this week, and we might go out a little more while they're out. They're not out together. They're out on a Tuesday afternoon and a Friday afternoon at the same time, but on a Thursday one's out all day, the other's home all day, and vice versa on the Wednesday. So it's a little bit no, on the Wednesday, one's out in the morning and one's in all day. So anyway, we might be able to pop out. We want to go to the museum, our local museum. There's an exhibition on that husband wants to see, and actually there's one on, a different one on that I want to see, so that'll be a bit of fun. And it's all free as well, the local museum, because it's so small. We live in a small town, they can't really charge. We do usually buy something from the gift shop or donate, you know, that sort of a little bit. This is 6, so we're going for purple. I'm thinking this bit, so I'm going to put yeah, so we want to go to that, but it's on until I think it's on until the end of April, so we've got quite a lot of time. But I'd also like to go to Slimbridge, but it depends what he can manage, because I think that one, he's been a little bit under the weather for various reasons, but we'll see how it all pans out. I never get my hopes up about going somewhere where I'm relying on somebody else to take me, you know, just in case. And I can have such a lot of fun locally, just walking, you know, yesterday up the hill, along the canal, into town, up the other side of the hill. There's all sorts of possibilities, so we're very lucky where we live, really. And actually next week, I was just remembering, I've actually got some appointment on Thursday, which I said I've got an appointment. It's just a check-up, nothing at all serious, but I've got to go 62, so that'll scupper our plans a bit, but never mind. Now I'm wondering, I think I might use a blue there, not this, I don't know, I'm thinking. I think I want to use this. I know we've got purple and then purple, but I just want to use it again. I just think it works, but maybe it doesn't. It's going to put it a bit darker, put 2 layers and it will look slightly different. And then that's it. So yeah, we might manage to do a few things. Also maybe over the weekend, who knows. Although it's better not to do things on the weekend because it's busier, because everyone's around, you know. Now this very bottom bit, I think I'm going to do it in this dark, in the 6th. Just looking at how dark this looks in the screen. Hope it's okay. There we go. Now I've got these little trees. I am going to grab, whoops, this colour, if I can get hold of it, the 5. To get this green. It's an interesting thing to have on a shelf. I'm assuming they're painted wooden trees, that's how I see them. And they must be quite thick, because they're standing up. And they can't be like little cardboard cutouts, they must be quite chunky trees. Stem, trunk, 7. Now I'm always a bit unsure to how to colour these dolls. I just think they're red, mainly red. $2.99 for the sort of main body. Main part of the doll. I used to have one of these. I was little. Russian doll. Only the little tiny one that goes in the middle, not the whole lot. My mum had a set. I don't know what happened to them. I think she got bored of them and gave them to charity. I think when my parents began to get better off, my mum used to start wanting to spend a fair bit of money on different things. She used to get bored, and so she would give things away to charity and then buy new. So quite a few of all the little knickknacks that she used to have when we were young have been given away. This is 11. I don't really like knickknacks myself very much, so it's not that bad a thing, but You know, she said to me the other day, she was like, oh, I've got all these tops and I'm really bored of them. I'm going to go shopping and buy some more. Right, okay. 9. I just don't get bored of clothes. I just wear them out. You know, I wear them until they wear out. But I'm never that really bothered by clothes. I just don't. It's not me, not a thing. I know some people are. That's fine. It's just not for me. This is 52. We're going to do these leaves. I'm going to try and fade them towards the bottom of each one, just to add a little bit of interest, as there are so many, and I'm going to be colouring them all the same colour. These ones at the back are quite hard to tell which way they're supposed to be facing, but just make a guess and hope it's right, I suppose. I'm colouring in all this background bit, assuming it's just a big pile of leaves all on top of each other. You could do it a bit differently if you prefer. It just seems to make sense to me somehow. I was looking on Facebook yesterday, and someone that I went to school with had a knee replacement operation that she's been on a waiting list for 2.5 years for. And I was like, wow, I went to school with her. It's, I mean, I guess 43. Some people are more prone to getting these sorts of things than others, but I'm thinking, I don't feel like I'm old enough to need that sort of thing. But I guess it's not always an age thing, is it? Balloons, they're heart-shaped. I'm tempted to do them pink. I know we've got pinks here. I just want to. So I'm going to use 61 first. Now these I'm going to try and make them a bit darker around the edge. I am going to try and avoid colouring in the little half moon that Johanna's drawn on to show us that that should have a little bit of shine. But apart from that, I'm just going to try and fade it a bit. If it doesn't fade quite well enough, you can just go back around the edges until it just looks how you want it to look. And this one in the pink, in the 20. We need some blue, I think. I haven't got any blue yet. We can get there in a minute. It just felt like the hearts needed to be pink, because those were pink. We haven't finished that yet, have we? It's me getting carried away, moving around the page. But that sort of thing does inspire me to try my hardest to keep fit and healthy. You know, I know it's not easy for everyone. Some people just can't do that. I'm going to use the 49 really gently for this to try and make it look like it's a sort of light wood. But while I can, I think I should. You know, and I'm lucky because of what I do. 80, which is this YouTube channel, I do have flexibility in my day where I can nip out and go for a walk or whatever, and then no, not everyone has that opportunity. I'm going to make this pot blue striped. This is the 30. I am very lucky that I can do that, and even though some days it does feel like I don't have time to fit it in, I have been finding the time. I've actually stopped looking at the news so much because I don't have time. Great. As I've said many times before, no good comes of looking at the news. This is 333. It's so rare for there to be happy stories. Unfortunately, if you look at the research and statistics, negative people engage more with negative things than positive things, and I don't really know why, but it is a fact. I'm going to use a 339 just for the top one, just go darker at the top. So I don't, as I say, I don't know why, but it's just the way it is. I expect I do too if I had a close look. Now, feather. Yeah, I think I'll go with this. This is the 260. Now, I'm gonna fade these towards the centre. Like that. I'm going to make this centre bit quite dark and around the edge quite dark, and then we'll put a lighter bit in between to make it look like it's catching the light, so it looks like it's slightly shiny. I always think feathers could be a bit shiny. Let's have a look. So if we leave this sort of lighter area, it helps them to look shiny. We have got that little bit that I've left. I'm going to do that in a very bright colour. I don't know why. I'm going to do it in the 2. Just looks like it needs to be a different colour. Now we have these 2 little cloths here and here which we can now colour in. I think I'm going to use the 72 for this one. Now this doll, I can't decide whether where the feet, this base is, whether that bit needs to be coloured in. I think it looks like maybe it should be. Now the other cloth I'm going to do in this 16. But if I do, what colour? Would it be black? Would it be red? I think there's enough red. I'm going to do it in black. It's a nice colour, isn't it? So number 9 is our black. And do this bit. There we go. I think that's all of that one. Yeah. So now we're going to move across to this side. Now we've got a whole different theme going on here. We've got circus tent, a spinning top balloon, star paintbrushes. It's all a bit random, isn't it? But that's okay. Right, so our circus tent I always like to do with a red. So we're going to start with 299 and do the outside. Perhaps I should have done the shell first, but we'll get there. Oh, I try not to lean. I've got the coil of the edge of the page under my hand. I think we'll maybe just do that a slightly lighter red. I think that works. I can always go over it if I change my mind. Now, often these tents are just red and white, but when we're colouring them in, that can just look a little bit dull, and also it doesn't give you so much to colour. So we're not going to do it red and white, we're going to do it red and blue. The centre 2 will be the same, just like the ones below. I can't see any birds outside today. I haven't heard them for a while. I was talking to my friend Kylie in Australia the other day while we were talking on Messenger, and she was saying how she was talking about kookaburras. Now I've heard some kookaburras. This is 333, but she said this type would have been different to the type that I heard. They make different noises apparently, which was interesting. It's news to me. And while I was talking to her, I said all I could hear was I think they were either rooks or jackdaw or something like that. And she said they make a sound there like they're crying, whereas these were making a very loud cawing sound, very unattractive sound that they make. It's always quite tickles me. But I don't know much about birdsong, so I can hear beautiful birdsong. I have absolutely no idea what bird might be making the sound. I think we're going to go for some green flags. I know it's probably not traditional 52, but I think it just look a bit different. I just want a different colour. But apparently the blackbirds sound really nice. Apparently a wren can as well. I guess what I ought to do is get onto like YouTube or somewhere and actually listen. I am going to use this dark grey. This is our 890 to do this bit here and this bit here and this post across here. There we go. And I'm thinking maybe just to make this bit in here look a little bit dark. Yeah, we're looking inside. Maybe it needs to be a bit darker than that. But I think I like the goldfinches sound. They sort of make a pip pip. Quite cute. Okay, so our flag I'm going to do in 110, vibrant yellow. Hopefully it will stand out well enough. There we go. Now the spinning top. Oops. I feel like what colour is that? Yes, I'm going to use a bit of this colour. This is the 17. I'm going to use it for here and here, and then I was going to use this colour. This is number 2. I'm going to do every other one and then put a and there, then put a bright yellow. I think we'll go for the 11 this time. Oops. So we're going quite bright. It's quite a strange colour, this. I think my spinning top had loads of reds and blues, all sorts of bright colours on it. And I had one exactly like that, and you pump the top round and round, it would go, and then it would get stuck in the carpet and fall over. We have a star here. I'm going to do this next. I'm thinking we could use the gold combination that we used before. If you want to, if you're not keen, then you can just do it in a yellow. I'm going to start with the 76 and do the tips. So the key with this one is to fade them a bit. So you have a really dark, intense bit there and then fade it a bit into the centre. But what I am going to do is colour in this shelf as well. It'll get a little chunk done. And it's the same colour. Now, I'm going to leave the balloons. I'm assuming they're on sticks, not ribbons. They're very straight. Yeah, we're going to carry on with the star, but yeah, so I'm getting myself a bit distracted. So the number 7 is our light brown, and I'm going to use that for here, so going over what we've done and sort of fading it inwards. Like that. And then I'm going to actually do the paintbrush tops with this too. Now you see I'm drawing on some sort of lines. We'll finish that with the lighter one when we use it. So here it is, the 16. And I'm going to bring in more of this. may not have left myself very much space for the final colour, to be honest. We need to leave a bit of white, and I'm just going to go over those with this as well. You could do them the colour of the paint. Which yellow did I use? I'm guessing I used 11. It isn't hugely important. Could use the 110, it would be very similar. I'm being very careful here that I leave a little white bit in the centre like that. Now the stick and the ribbon, I'm thinking maybe we could do them the same colour. I'm quite tempted by a red. I think I will. This is number 29. I'm going to give it a sharpen. With the ribbon, I can just fade it a bit. Oops, take it darker at each end. And hopefully it might make the ribbon look a bit more shiny, like it's silk or satin. Like that. I think I'm going to do the stick a different colour. But which colour? I think I'll go with the brown. This, oh no, we could use this. This is the 49. It is a sort of brown. I use it really gently in the hope it looks a bit beige-like. There we go. Now I am going to do our balloons now. I've decided that purples are going to be the way because we haven't done pinks and purples anywhere else yet. So I'm going to start with this one. This is our 62 and do the back of this one. Now you could try and shape the balloon like we did with the heart-shaped ones by making, and with the ball, by making it a little bit darker on the edges. I might do that in a minute. My aim at the moment is just to fill in this area. Yeah, I think what I'll do is I'll just make it a bit more layered up there and here and here. I can do the same here, so a few more layers here. I don't know why colouring balloons is reminding me we've got a few businesses opening. Actually, our local pub has just reopened under new management. I never go to the pub, it's not a thing that I do. But I might, this is 6, did sometimes go there for a meal, but actually I don't think they're doing proper meals yet. They've got a pizza oven, so they're doing pizzas, but I think that's it at the moment. Whether they do more later, I don't know. But it was quite cute because the other morning they ran I'm going to use 61 for the other balloon. They ran, don't worry, I'm going to get around to doing those bits as well. I've just got to think about what I'm doing with them. They ran a toddler music group there. I just think it's quite good for a pub not only to sort of hire out its venue during the day when it isn't open, because you know pubs don't normally open till at least lunchtime, but also to sort of be part of the community. I think it's really nice. Well, we don't like seeing that place empty, even though we don't even use it, which is quite illogical. So this is number 20. I think I'm going to do these bits. I'm just going to fade them to the end. I don't know why. I don't know what they're supposed to be. I've worked out what I'm doing with the other balloon now. There we go. Now I'm going to use the blue. This is quite a dark blue, the 339. I'm going to use it for this one. Actually, I'm going to do both of these bits in the same colour. I'm going to take a bit of an artistic license and do that. Fade it towards the middle a little bit. There we go. And then for this one, I'm going to do a lighter shade of blue. I'm going to try this one, 30. It might be a bit too light, might work. And then our paint brushes, we're going to use a variety of different colours. I'm going to start with the 5, this green. I'm trying to make the bits above the top of the jam jar a bit more vibrant than the bits inside. We will colour that more and get that looking better. Then I'm going to use 260 for this one. A bit lighter there. Then what colour? I think I'll just use the 299. There we go. Now to get the jar looking like, ooh, it's very squiffy, like it's glass, we're going to use the 80. And we're going to put quite a lot of grey just on the edge here, and then we're going to fade it as we come in like that to make it just look like it's see-through glass, but it's got some shadow like that. And now we've got our little doily. I'm thinking a blue again. That's the one we used for the tent. Maybe we'll go for the light blue, the 30. I can hear a squeaky noise again. I heard this yesterday afternoon and I realised there must be a dog out in the garden with a squeaky toy. And I can hear it again. I guess it's nice weather in the sense it's dry, and I guess it's warming up now. I guess. So people might be sitting outside, or they might want their animals to be outside for a bit. 339 to get a bit of exercise. Not sure. Talking of exercise, I was trying to get my friend out for a walk. She said she was going to message me this week, but she hasn't. I have chased her a few times. I feel a bit nasty chasing her a billion zillion times, you know. It just seems a bit rude. So I'm not sure. Squeaky, squeaky, squeak, it's going. Now, I'm just looking at the two pictures side by side. I think I am happy and that they are finished, but I just wanted to make sure that I'd included all the elements. That one took us a little bit less time than the first one. I felt a little bit less daunted by them. I'm not sure why. Probably because I'd done the first one, so I'd sort of done a bit. The glass jars, if you want to make them look a little bit more shiny, you can use some white pen on the edges just to take out a little bit of that dark grey, and that will make them look shiny. I'm not going to use white pen on this page, so I'm not going to do that, but you can do that the same as I said with the snow globe. You could use a little bit, but I didn't want to. But there we go, that is our session done for today. Tomorrow we'll be doing the final bit. We've got some very random items again, but hopefully we'll have some fun. But thank you for watching today. Hope that you have a really super day, and happy colouring.